Hey, how are you? So I am pretty excited to be at this point. I have completed the L2R East, I've completed the L2R Central, and I have 130 miles left to do this year on the L2R Western, the last 130 miles of the Great Miami River down to the Ohio River. And I wanted to do a quick introduction because I'm sure you're wondering what the L2R is, which really just stands for Lake to River. And it doesn't encompass starting at the lake and paddling all the way down to the Ohio River, but really just refers to those waterways that run between the top and the bottom of the state that you can connect on a route. And the L2R East was the first one that I did solo, no GoPro, and really just the beginning of this whole thing. Put on for a day, put on for another day, spent the night, did 4 or 5 days on the Muskingum River on a through paddle, turned around, took the canals and the lakes out to Lake Erie after I hit the Cuyahoga. And, it was just wondering if I could do that in another place. So to back up a little bit, how this all started, just some greenhorn that had never been on moving water, that just did flat water paddling. But a childhood memory kept popping up. And I've written a book that is current up to the miles that I've paddled so far, that I'll be finishing when I finish the last paddle, obviously. But I want to share that introduction with you, just to help you understand the whole concept a little bit more. When I was 7 years old and living in the city of Cleveland, Ohio, I heard a story of a boy named Tom Sawyer. Little did I know that we were kindred spirits. There were no logs to tie together for a raft, and only being able to wander a 3-block area, my adventure was postponed. Although it was postponed, it was never forgotten, and that's really where the story of following water began. And it's really that true. One day I just wanted to put on a river and see where it went. It's really that simple. So I did some research, bought a personal flotation device, scouted for low head dams, printed out a map, tucked it under some bungee cords on my hull, and put into the river on a warm day with slow water. And it's turned into quite an adventure encompassing over 1,000 miles of the waters of Ohio. So I want to share this first video with you, just give you a little background on it. And like I said, very glad to be at this point so far. So probably have to break it into 15-minute segments because we chopped it down as much as we could and we're still like close to 4 hours. So this video will come out first. The L2R Western connection, we'll have to do the same thing and chop it all up. And I'm hoping to get the book out right after the L2R Western connection videos come out. So I hope you jump on board for the ride and check it out, and hopefully see you on the river. So this is a sampling of what I usually take when I go kayak camping. I try to travel light. My only cooking is that jet boil stove that you see right there, simply boiling water. I never build a fire when I'm on anyone's property. There's one of the mugs that are there. I usually take 2. Those are from REI, and I just love that design. That lid stays so tight that that mug can roll around on the bottom of my kayak in any rapids or throwing that kayak over different log jams, and I never lose a drop of coffee, so I love it. And speaking of coffee, that's what those packets are on top of the Ziploc bags. Usually take at least 2 for the day. In the bags are a mixture of oats and grits. Sometimes I smash up some cashews or some almonds and whatever else looks good in the pantry while I'm putting it together. I can simply boil water, I dump it in the Ziploc bags. I can either eat it right there or I take it with me, get a couple miles in, and then stop and enjoy the breakfast. Basically a built-in trash bag, no dishes. Then a sampling of different snacks that I like to take. Energy gels, coffee waffles, those are pretty interesting, Cliff bars. My vest pockets are usually filled with those. I usually plan 6 or 8 a day because I eat constantly through the day. I usually don't stop for a full-blown lunch, snack throughout the day, then have dinner at the end of the paddle. Dried pineapple and mango, really good sources of carbs. Sunflower seeds, some good healthy fats, cashews, almonds, dehydrated fruit. There is a sampling of the water. I usually take at least two liters a day. I love those 1.5 liter bottles. So on a 3-day trip, I'd take half a dozen of those bottles. They seem to store easily. These electrolytes are a really awesome source of energy, when you're sweating and exerting yourself. My meals are usually from Mountain House. I have tried a couple other brands. Some I've liked, some I didn't like. Mountain House is usually my go-to though. So here we have the toiletries and the essentials. Obviously, when you're out backpacking, kayak camping, even if you're just all day kayaking, you need to be prepared to do what everybody has to do. And you need to be able to do that responsibly. So decide what that means for you and act accordingly. I usually take an old driver's license with me and some old glasses, a waterproof phone case for my phone, that water cap right there for the 1.5 liter bottles. It's got several holes drilled into it in a circle that I can put hot water in a smart water bottle and turn it upside down, use that as a shower head to get cleaned up at the end of the day. Headlamp, always a good thing to have. Toothbrush, toothpaste, floss sticks, whatever you might prefer. A couple lighters. The multi-tool, the Sawyer Mini, that I hope I never have to use it, but I have it in case I do need to, and I'd rather have my own water. A small thing of bug spray and a larger thing of sunscreen, and they all go in that Gecko caving bag. I really like waterproof bag. Top rolls up just like a dry bag, and it's got straps around there that you can put around your waist if you wanted to wear it, but I usually use that to lock it into my cockpit. I strap it around the bracket for my seat so that if I ever do get rolled in the kayak, nothing comes out of my kayak. So getting into the loading, I always try to have a set of bedclothes at the end of the night. When you get out of the river, take a shower, get cleaned up. It's nice to have something nice and fresh to sleep in. And I really like the shirts that there's different brands, HUK, I don't know if it's Huck or Hook, but really love that material. Light, breathable, blocks the sun. I usually have a couple spares of every piece of clothing except for my bed clothing. You can see that green bag right there is my down top quilt from Hammock Gear out of Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to them. Love their products. And then there's just a sheet that I like to put in the amok so that I'm not laying right on top of the air mattress, which is right here for the amok. And here is the actual hammock itself. If you've never seen the AMOC Drommer hammock, I call it a perpendicular hammock. You have to check it out. Huge props to them. Love their products. I usually take a large 10 by 10 tarp just so that I can put it over the hammock if I need it, and I should say have a lot of space to work under in case there's heavy rain, some cordage obviously for that hammock. And the tarp. That blue bag would be all my food. And around the water bottles and that food bag is actually a cable lock. If in case I ever have to fasten my cable, if I need to get up out of the river, maybe to go up to a store for any reason, or even just overnight, I like to put the cable around it just to make sure that my kayak doesn't just disappear in the middle of the night. Right in front of that is my bilge pump, that orange pump there, in case I have to pump the cockpit out due to rapids, water getting in there. A spare paddle, 2 sets. My throw bag that I always have on my kayak is right here on the other side of my vest. Easy reach in case I need to throw a line to anyone in any trouble. In my vest, you'll see the whistle and the knife are always there. I usually have my phone inside a waterproof case inside a large pocket here, and the other pockets really are just filled with my snacks throughout the day. So that's pretty much the loadout. It rarely ever changes for any reason other than the duration of the trip. Obviously, if I'm just going out for a one day, I can basically travel bare bones. One night, I'm going to have very little with me. If I'm going full 5 days, then it's going to be a lot heavier and have to really cut some corners to make all that gear fit in the 2 hatches. But it always stays pretty much the same. The only thing changes is the duration of the trip and the weather that I'm doing the trip in.